Immortal Gates of Pyre finally has a live playtest open for everyone on Steam, and if you have had enough of playing Warcraft 3 for the last 20 plus years, then this fresh take on fantasy RTS will be just the game for you. This upcoming indie gem, currently in the alpha stage, even gives its player an option to automate base building and unit production, so you can focus on combat tactics and map control. A fan favorite feature in the form of creep camps is also present in this game, and there are some major creeps out there. A link to the game's Steam store page is in the description below, and also make sure to wishlist the game while you're there. What I have to really praise the developers on is how much care they have spent on making sure you can learn the game's basics and controls before starting your match, as not only can you read the control tips in the main menu, but also learn about the look and function of the user interface and what keys control what options. The minimap and resources are also shown and explained in the awareness section, while when you go through the Immortal characters, the game's unique twist on the hero unit and special powers mechanic, you can learn about their powers and building chains. The developers even added GIFs with showcases of these as well as a load of information. This is a look at the early alpha version of the game, I will remind you, and I must admit I have never seen indie developers give their players so much information in-game with so many examples before, especially in an RTS. If you have, feel free to correct me. On the other hand, and this one is a major missed opportunity in my book when it comes to RTS games, is the fact that there is no AI to play against in Skirmish. There is an AI, but only for the co-op game mode, which isn't part of this playtest. So right now, you can play on an empty map by yourself, or try and find other players using the in-game matchmaking for 1v1 or 2v2 PvP in 4 separate world regions, as well as by opening up the custom game lobbies. This playtest has 2 maps available for you, the 1v1 map named Canyon and the 2v2 map named Lost Province. When starting a match in Immortal Gates of Pyre, currently you can only choose one Immortal out of 2 in both of the factions, while a third faction is planned for the game as well as more Immortals themselves. The Curat or the Angelic Empire is a human imperial state ruled by mighty angels, while the Arrow faction are creatures which came to be a combination between animal and plants, mutated from another faction of the game's rich lore. The reason why I compared this game to Warcraft 3 becomes very obvious when you start a new match. You have your main base, workers collect resources from nodes sitting right next to it, and a simple building and tech tree which centers on upgrading your HQ. As a new player, you have yet to learn all the resources and what they are used for, but trust me, it won't take long, especially with the game's automatic base building and unit production option, which you can disable if you choose to do so, or just add it to your preference. You can use the scout to look around the map, but it only has the modern type of fog of war, meaning you can see what is there on the minimap, but just not what is actively there right now unless you have vision from a unit or a building. To expand your economy, all you have to do is to place a new HQ building right next to more resource nodes spread around the map, while for some more advanced resources, and the one necessary for using your Immortal's powers, you have to fight for. Just like in the main menu, here too you will find helpful GIFs on just about every part of the UI, showing you how much care developers from Sunspear Games have put into teaching you how to play. Of course, a proper tutorial is something they need to work on in the future. The combat mechanics of armor and weapon damage is another thing that will be very familiar to Warcraft fans, as there are 3 types of armor and corresponding weapon damage. Each unit's stats can be read in the UI, and the tooltips will explain them to you when you hover your mouse over them. Unit pathing is a bit rough still, and there is stuff like units just hovering to the side or backwards instead of actually traveling on foot. When they move in a group, however, they do so very well, and also when attacking they will automatically find room in the formation to be able to target the enemy. As you play, you will find a lot of quality of life features that other games usually don't have, but as this is still very early alpha, there is a lot of room for both improvements and additions. I could go on and talk more about the lore, mechanics, immortals, abilities, factions and so on, but I wanted to get this video out as soon as possible and remind you to play it while its playtest is still active. More on this game in the future, while you can use the cards on the screen to learn about other similar games. Thank you for watching and happy gaming!